A long time ago, my sister and I visited this building and discovered that behind it is one of the most beautiful colleges in Oxford. And so I decided that I wanted to study there. And I ended up spending a number of years in Oxford in this suburb of Jericho. You might recognise the name Jericho from the Bible. It was a place where travellers might stay on their way to Jerusalem. And people think that this Jericho may have got its name from the fact that people visiting Oxford would have stopped here the night before entering the city walls. Little Clarendon Street is a popular street in Jericho, especially because it has a great ice cream shop. This huge building is the Oxford University Press. It used to be in the centre of town on Broad Street, but they needed a bigger premises, and this was built in the 19th century. This building was built in the 21st century. It's the Blavatnik School of Governance, and it's got circles to remind us that democracy should always be a conversation. Behind the observatory is the Radcliffe Observatory. The Radcliffe Observatory was modelled on the Tower of the Winds from Athens, which was built in the 1st century, and so there are many classical symbols on it. You can see here the different signs of the zodiac that even the Greeks had as they marked out constellations in the sky. This man, John Radcliffe, has a number of things in Oxford named after him, including the hospital. The observatory has 8 sides at the top, which are then labelled with the 8 different Greek winds. The observatory is in the Radcliffe Observatory Quarter, and on one edge of it you can see the Jericho Health Centre. The Blavatnik is at another edge, and I like the way that on a sunny day you can see the old observatory reflected in the new Blavatnik. Next to the Blavatnik building is another old building. Again, it's got an octagonal shape at the end, and at the front it has Greek pillars. This was a church built in a Greek style. You can see the pillars here, which we call Ionic, and then the pediment at the top, the triangular shape. This isn't a church anymore. It's now a popular cocktail bar that students and others like to go to. Right opposite Freud's, as it's known, is Great Clarendon Street, and you can see a sign on this to St Barnabas Church, which is another landmark in Jericho. St Barnabas was built in the 19th century, and it was built to look like an Italian church. It's made of rubble, then with white, creamy cement, which on a sunny day reflects the light. It's then got a green hat on the top, and from various points around North Oxford you can see it. It was paid for by a man and his wife, Thomas and Martha Combe. Thomas Combe was very influential at the University Press. Many of the houses in Jericho were quite small originally, and they were built to provide housing for people who worked in the different industries near the canal. Lucy is the name of the man who owned the Eagle Iron Works, which was one of the major industries on the canal. This block of flats down the end is the old iron works. This is Juxon Street, and you can see some of the houses which used to be for the workers and are still owned by the Lucy Company today. This is where Jericho ends, but if you go down this road you can get to the canal, and the canal runs all along the edge of Jericho.